Good morning, everybody. I think that a really important part that you should know about my project was that I actually took 9 months to do this. I did 1 credit each term, and most students either do 2 and then 1 or all 3 in 1 term. And I needed to do this because I needed to work with teachers, and that was a really big part of my project. And in my last term here at COA, there was a time period where I was really frustrated with my project. It was a lot of overwhelming work, but I really love the outcome, and I hope you guys will too. So here at COA, I got the opportunity to work at the Dorr Museum of Natural History. That was my work study, and I found that I really enjoyed doing education. And so I kind of dealt with the education area here at COA, the Dorr Museum, and the program that we have that schools come to us for is the Bones, Baleen, and Whale Ecology program, and that's putting together a minke whale skeleton and kind of going through a little bit of whale ecology on that point. And it used to be an outreach program. It used to be called Whale on Wheels, and we would go out to schools, and unfortunately, due to staffing issues, that is now an in-house program, and they have to come to us. And there has been some demand for us to come out to them in some way, shape, or form, and I really wanted to create that program for them. And so I went ahead and kind of created a nice little teaching kit that teachers could hopefully check out from the Dorr Museum and use it in their own classroom. And it's kind of based on the Bones, Baleen, and Whale Ecology curriculum. And so the goals that I had in mind for this program, I really wanted it to be adaptation and evolution based, and I got that opportunity because of last year, the state of Maine added new evolution standards. And teachers hadn't really worked with this before, so they were coming into this new year not really knowing what they were going to do. And I got the opportunity to hopefully help them out with some ideas based on whales. I wanted this kit to be effective as well, and by effective, I pretty much mean that I wanted kids to learn from it, and I wanted teachers to learn from it as well. I wanted it to be flexible, so this kit has 5 lesson plans designed to be a week-long unit, but each lesson plan is actually able to stand on its own. So teachers can go ahead and just pull out 1 lesson plan, do it for 1 day, and hopefully build on their own curriculum. And it also kind of acts as a branching off point. So if they want to kind of steer off of one of my lessons, they can go ahead and build on it themselves. I ultimately wanted this to be easy to use. Teachers, I know, are very, very time pressed, and so I wanted teachers to help me out with this and tell me what works and what didn't work, and so that they could just grab it and go and not have to really prepare for it. And then, of course, I wanted it to be fun. And students actually helped me out with this a lot. I was able to test pilot my kit in the classroom, and kids really had a lot of fun with it. It got a little bit messy sometimes, which I always think of as a good indication that kids are having fun. So this is what the kit looks like. It includes an introduction to the kit, which is kind of an overview of my process on how I came to do this, a little bit of background about why, and just kind of the papers I read on teaching kits and what I found through those papers. There's also a teacher's manual, and that includes all the background information that teachers will need to know for the certain day's lesson plan. It also includes an outline of how my lessons went in classroom, so they can kind of have an idea about what it might look like. And of course, there are the actual lesson plans that has the standards on them, ultimate goals, and questions for students to know. And there's one lesson plan. The first lesson plan is an overall introduction to the kit, and kind of the big question on that one is, what's a whale? How do we know a whale is a whale, not a fish? That sort of thing. Kind of defining what we want to know as a whale. The second lesson plan is a comparative lesson plan, and we kind of compare ourselves to whales and what's different about whales and what's similar, that kind of thing, to us. And of course, there's one on blubber, because we all know whales have lots of blubber. And so kids kind of get the idea about how blubber works from that. And there's also one on baleen and an important feeding strategy common to whales. And then the last one's a human interaction one, and that includes both positive and negative interactions that people have with whales. All the items in this kit are meant to be hands-on, and so kids are always doing something. That was a really big part of this project for me. And of course, there's a museum manual that instructs museum staff on how to properly check out a kit, make sure everything's included, and what to refill, and how to fix certain things, because I had to fix a couple of things on this one. Students got a little bit rough with it. So the actual fun part of this kit was test piloting them. And two of messiest ones were the baleen and blubber. You can see over here on the left side are the materials for the baleen kit. That pretty much includes buckets, water, toothbrushes, little strainers, toothpicks, Rice Krispies, and marshmallows. And it's supposed to, I know, it sounds like a good thing to eat, but it's supposed to mimic baleen, and students are supposed to walk through it and try to figure out what tool works best and what that would be for a whale. And then the blubber gloves are on the right side, and that's pretty much 2 Ziploc bags full of Crisco, and it mimics it pretty well. And students actually put their hands into the blubber glove and then put the other hand into just a bucket of ice water, and they could feel how blubber is supposed to work, the insulating properties of it. And I learned 3 major things. I learned that it's not as easy as it looks to create curriculum. I now have a newfound respect for teachers who do this day in and day out, creating lesson plans. And I learned that kids are a lot smarter than you think. And they were constantly throwing curveball questions to me, and I'd have to step back and reassess what I was telling them and kind of try to throw curveballs back at them as well. And it's generally a lot of fun, and I really hope that this kit ends up being used in the classrooms around MDI or in the greater Bangor area as well.